Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Horological Happy Hour. I'm Justin.
I'm Rob.
And we have a really great show for you guys tonight. We are going to hit some exciting new arrivals. We're going to talk about the ridiculous Phillips auction that's happening this weekend in Geneva.
I think this is the most exciting auction we've seen since the Newman auction in 2017.
Yeah, it's probably the most impressive collection of lots that I've ever seen put together in one location.
Yeah, it's like every time you turn the page in the catalog, it's like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys want to play along later in the show, Rob and I picked several of our favorite lots that we wanted to chat about, and we're gonna place bets on what we think they're gonna sell for. We're gonna keep track, and we're gonna keep score and let you guys know who did better on the next show. But go ahead and pull up the Phillips website so you can check out all the lots while we talk about them.
I thought you were gonna say pull up the drinks.
Well, you got to do that as well, Robert.
Because we should make it a happy hour.
We should. We hope you guys are also. Sorry, I should have passed my glass to you.
That's okay.
I'm going to make you do all the work. So hopefully you guys are partaking in a little Thursday afternoon beverage with us as well.
See what we can get out of this bottle.
Yeah, I know. Real sad, Rob. Got to wring it out. Come on. Good to the last drop.
That's
pretty damn good, actually.
Good guess, but that is the end of the Lagavulin.
Yeah, actually.
What do we drink next?
What do we drink next? Let us know. We need some good suggestions. We've been hard on the Lagavulin train for a long time now. I honestly think it's going to be tough to top. But if you have something that you think we would like, let us know. But
feel free to send it.
Yeah, we accept donations. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for being with us as always. All right.
So it's also been a big week here at European Watch Company. Not just Phillips. We also have some pretty tremendous watches on the block.
Yep.
And I think we have an incredible assortment here on the table. We have everything from, kind of the bottom to the top.
I think you're right. And I think we know who chose the top and who chose the bottom here, buddy.
Just because I choose watches for the people doesn't mean there needs to be sass attached to it.
Okay. No, but really, you guys should check out our website. We have some ridiculous stuff that is either just hit the site or is hitting the site very soon. We're going to talk about a few of those pieces that we're really excited about tonight. Kicking things off, I think, with the Patek 5330G Tokyo edition.
Another one of those watches where you see this stuff come out and you see it in catalogs, but you don't necessarily think we're going to see one here.
Yeah.
Because, stuff like this where it's like a domestic market for overseas, it doesn't always make it here to the States. So I was pretty pumped when I saw this thing land here because I love world times to begin with. And then a world time with a purple dial like this? Come on.
Yeah, this one's killer. So this is, like I said, the 5330G Tokyo. So the 5330G debuted a couple of years ago, has that, almost the denim strap and the real bright blue dial, which is gorgeous. I was going to say,
typically like that powder blue, right?
Right. And this debuted in 2023 at the Watch Art Grand Exhibition in Tokyo. So that was Patek's, I believe it was their sixth of the Grand Exhibitions. And if you guys aren't familiar with, with Patek's their Grand Exhibition program, I guess, it's kind of like a traveling roadshow for Patek where they go to a different location every couple of years and they show off all the best stuff. They have the rare handicrafts department, puts on a big show. They'll
have historical pieces.
Right.
And they always introduce a few models that are unique to the exhibition and are available only in that city for the time of that exhibition. So this was one that they had released for that. And the 5330 is the world time with the addition of a date, which you can see around the outside there.
And so this was like we said, it was the Tokyo Grand Exhibition. So on that world disc, or the city disc, sorry, you can see Tokyo in red, and then also on the 24-hour disc there, in the photos, just kind of to the left of the Tokyo text, you can see the rising sun, the red rising sun of the Japanese flag. So super interesting piece. That really impressive purple guilloche in the center there. It's on a purple strap with purple stitching. I don't really understand the purple connection here. but
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's beautiful. Yeah.
I love it. I think it is fantastic. And I think it's such a cool watch because Patek has such a great history with the World Time.
Yes.
That the fact that they do these World Times, they did one for New York, they've done this one for Tokyo, they've done other ones that aren't as elaborate, right? Where they just change the name of the city. But I like having a unique color and then the unique little touches in honor of Japan, I think, which is fantastic.
So limited edition of 300 pieces, like Rob said, only available in Japan, actually. So really cool that we got to see one.
Yeah.
We listed this for sale, I think, on like Tuesday, and it's actually already pending sale, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, just a really interesting World Time in a very funky colorway that you don't normally see from Patek. So that's a really cool one.
Good choice.
Well, I'm glad you approve. Thank you.
I do. I approve of that one. So that is something modern from Patek that's very interesting. We actually got something old from Patek that I didn't know about this watch till we saw this. Anybody who's kind of been following like the Patek vintage scene recently, the Ellipse has had a little bit of a renaissance.
Yeah, totally.
Coming back.
Well, the one on the bracelet and everything that they came out with last year.
And there were so many variations of the Ellipse. And this is one I'd never seen before. This is a reference 3589 in white gold, and this is the Grand Ellipse. And I've never seen one before with this kind of bezel like this. It has this incredible little step up to the crystal here. The dial is blue with, instead of applied markers, they're actually like recessed.
So I was going to say,
into the dial.
I've seen this case shape before, this Grand Ellipse with that just like, you know, big bezel essentially. I've never seen this dial with the engraved numerals.
It's so wild. They're like dipped in and then filled in silver.
Well, when I first looked at it, I thought that the dial was damaged or something, and then I looked closer and I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. They're actually engraved, and you still get that same like crazy sunburst of the blue and everything.
And you'll notice that it is incredibly thin, and I knew as soon as I wound it that this is the same caliber that's in the original Patek Philippe Nautilus.
It's so funny. We were both at our desks, and you said that, and I was like, oh, it's super clicky, right? And then you did that, and it really is.
Yeah, and it's the same automatic caliber that you find in the original Nautilus and in the original AP Royal Oak. And to me, this is just one of those watches where it's like, this is so 70s.
Yeah, totally.
Right? In its design and everything like that. And I think, you know, this is the stuff that people are overlooking right now.
Yeah.
And I think, like, man, that is stellar.
I mean, there's something...
That is so good.
Every time we get an Ellipse, whether it's a vintage one or a modern piece, you know, we all kind of gush over it.
Yeah.
And it's just so... If I was given the choice between that and a Calatrava, I'm taking the Ellipse, like, literally every single time. It's just such a funky, interesting, distinctive design.
Yeah.
And there's so many, like you were saying, there's so much variation. There's so many different, you know, eras of the watch.
Right.
And so many
you get
different
the
metals and
TV
everything.
case ones. You get the traditional ones. You get some with lugs, which personally I don't think holds up as well.
No, I agree.
Because the whole thing of it is that golden ellipse, and as soon as you take away that line, it doesn't work anymore. And so this with basically the hidden lugs, where it's just this little connection in the center there and a bar that goes through to connect the strap. That's what makes this watch what it is.
Is that one live on our site right now, Rob?
No.
No, not yet?
This is, the photo should be up soon and then we'll get it live. So this is a real sneak peek because this one is coming soon. But I'm smitten. I think it's incredible.
Nice. Yeah, keep an eye out for that one because that's such a little hidden gem that, you know, especially bang for buck too, like just a simple time-only vintage Patek.
And it's not your standard Ellipse case. Like, it's a beautiful case.
I've seen that case before, I've never seen this specific configuration with white gold case, engraved blue dial, like killer.
And great size, because this was the big one, this was the Grand Ellipse. Automatic movement and everything, incredible.
Cool. All right, moving right along. Next up, for another sneak peek, we're gonna swing wildly back in the other direction again because I chose this one.
Yeah.
If you might be able to see it in the front of the tray right here.
I was gonna say, could it be the 8 pounds of gold that is?
This right here might be the best datograph of all time. So Rob, go ahead and show that guy off. So this is the reference 403.031 Lange Datograph, commonly known as the Dufour Dato or the Dufour graph. So classic, Dato, 39 millimeter case, but rose gold black dial. And this one, as you can clearly see, happens to be on a full rose gold Wellendorff bracelet as well, so the Dufour graph in general is rare. They made it for roughly 2 years. I think it was like 03 to 05. So very short production run. And it's called the Dufour Dato because Philippe Dufour famously owns one in this configuration, not the bracelet, but he owns one, rose gold, pink gold with a black dial. And he has publicly stated that he thinks that this is the greatest chronograph ever made. So yeah, just special watch. Okay. So we were just told that the Patek Tokyo 5330 needs to be shipped out immediately. So we're gonna pass that off to the team and continue talking about the Dufour Dato. Thank you, Emerson. So anyways, back to the Dufour Dato. So most of these were obviously delivered on the strap, but it was an option after purchase.
A extremely expensive option.
Yes, to order a Wellendorff bracelet for the watch. So the original owner of this piece bought it and then chose to order the Wellendorff bracelet, which, like Robert said, was a massive upgrade.
And there's a couple different styles of these bracelets. Like you'll see some with the straight end links. You'll see some like this one with the integrated end links. And then you see different link styles as well. This, to me, is probably the nicest link style, in my opinion, where it has, just enough. It's like there's one that gets crazy zigzagged on the Perpetual.
Yeah, we were just talking about that one.
That is almost like Odysseus-esque, which is cool because it's very unique. But to me, this is like, it's in that line of like where it's still very interesting, but it's not so over the top that you're like, whoa, that bracelet.
Well, so I was going to say, the one on the Perpetual, it's got so much going on that it overpowers the watch itself, where this beautifully complements the watch. Like this one, when it came in, like I'm a huge Datograph fan to begin with, and I lost my mind when this came in. The cool thing too, so like Wellendorff bracelets, they're all stamped with the Wellendorff hallmark on the clasp, which is super cool. But again, crazy rare. Watch itself only in production for 2 years. Bracelet was a massive upcharge, and very few people, took Lange up on that. So this one's killer. This one also has a full original set with box, papers, and the original hang tag. So this is coming soon.
And we're seeing a huge the demand for these old school Lange bracelets is suddenly like everybody's looking for them.
Yeah.
None of them are out there because there weren't that many to begin with, but it's become one of those things where like the real Lange guys out there are all looking for these old school bracelets.
Think about it. It's been years since Wellendorff has produced these bracelets for Lange. And at the time, Lange still is a very small production company. At the time, when they were doing this earlier in the 2000s, they were an even smaller company producing fewer pieces. So again, for a very expensive option on a watch that there weren't many of to begin with, like it's just rare. There just aren't many of them out there.
And they're beautiful. They're so well made.
Stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would.
It really enhances that watch.
I would do terrible things to have that watch. So.
All right. So. From that to the complete other end of the spectrum again.
I love it.
If I hold this watch this way, you won't even know it's there. There was a time in watchmaking where ultra thin became the pinnacle to which all watchmakers were striving. And to me, that is a very cool thing because it's one of those things where it's not going to knock your socks off like this Datograph on the bracelet. It's not like a full skeleton dial. It's not crazy complicated. It's about creating the most elegant and refined execution you possibly can. And this is a great modern example of that with the VC Historiques 1955. So this is as simple as it gets, not even a seconds hand, time and date, but
ridiculously
it is
thin.
a wafer.
Yeah.
This is a Ritz cracker for the wrist.
This actually
but you
might
still
be
get a display back.
a similar thickness to a Ritz cracker.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not kidding here, but you still get a display back, which is really cool. You get beautiful proportions. Every time we get this watch in, I am amazed that they can manufacture this and that it runs and that it works well. And like, I mean, what a hard thing to do. You know, when you're dealing with things that are on a small scale already to begin with, and then you're making them even smaller and even finer. And to me, this is like the gentleman's wristwatch.
Yeah,
right?
It's really interesting because like this is kind of more than the sum of its parts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like looking at that dial and you know the super minimalist indices and handset, and I don't know, normally that's not something that I'm drawn to, you know, like really like incredible simplicity and just very like understated to the max. But that paired with that subtly kind of flared lug of the case, you know, the thickness, the beautiful wind on that manual wind movement, like the way that it sits on the wrist, it's really elegant.
The crown is thicker than the case. The crown sticks out ever so slightly on the top and the bottom of the case.
Yeah.
That's how thin this watch is.
That is
and
ridiculous.
It's not a big crown.
It's tiny.
It's not a big crown.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just, there's something about that where you've said, okay, you can have all the complicated stuff. You can have the stuff that's like super showy and super incredible, and that's cool. But then there's also this, where it is the simplest, purest expression of a watch, but showing the absolute prowess of like fine watchmaking, because this is not, you know, Vacheron has a lot of watches where, you know, it's a great watch and it's a Jaeger movement in and it's going to run great and everything's wonderful. But this to me is like another level from that, where it's like, this is really elegance and finesse from start to finish. And like, if you're a guy who wears a jacket every day or a jacket and tie every day, like this to me is a killer daily watch.
Everyday dress watch. And price-wise too, it's reasonable for.
Well, unfortunately, it's already sold.
Another one? Oh my god!
This one is also
we're moving stuff fast,
pending.
friends.
I think this sold today. So these don't come up.
Yeah.
We see maybe one every couple years or something like that. This and there's the Jaeger 1907.
Yeah. I think we see even fewer of the Jaeger 1907 than we do of this.
They don't come up, and I would love to own one of these watches one day, because I think to me there's something about the purity of that I just really love.
It's like distinctively Vacheron too, which is interesting. Again, for a watch that is so...
It's old school Vacheron.
But that's what I mean.
Right? Like to call that the 1955 and to do it in the Historiques collection, I think was so fitting.
Nice. Yeah. All right, well that's one that I will agree with you on, Rob. Good pick.
There we go. There we go.
All right, once again.
The pendulum swingeth againeth.
We need like a dramatic sound effect or something. All right, well... You probably saw this one hit our site if you've been watching. This is one of my all-time favorite Pateks. Like, come on.
Yep.
What's better?
Yep.
You know, so Patek 5004 in platinum, Robert. So obviously iconic Patek Grand Comp, split-second perpetual. This one in platinum with that gorgeous silver dial. This screams classic Patek to me. Again, you know, it's the perfect size. It's what, 36 and a half, 37.
Yep.
It's a little on the chunky side, but that's fine because it's, you know, it's still very compact. It's 15 mil thick. Look at that movement. It's crazy. I love this watch so much. So you get, you know, a manual wind, column wheel, chronograph movement in there, split seconds.
Double column wheel, actually.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
With the split second in there, they need to up gear that. So I think there's actually two.
This is like, you know how we've talked about the Le Mans Daytona before, how Rolex basically took like all the best characteristics of Daytonas over the years and combined them into the Le Mans. That's kind of how I feel about this watch.
It's really not that thick.
It's not. No, it's not.
The proportions of it are a little interesting because it is like kind of, since it's not super broad, you know, it's a small diameter, so it doesn't distribute the thickness the way a modern watch does. But if you like this era and you like 3970s and things like that, you know, even, what's the repeater? Is that the 3974 or something like that?
3974,
like,
you're right, yep.
If you like those style of watches and that era of Patek, this fits right in there.
I mean, this is, we've talked about it a million times, but this is the sweet spot in, I think, both of our opinions for the golden era of Patek. But again, like, I feel like they took kind of all of the best design elements from previous iterations, generations of this particular Grand Comp, and kind of put them all together. So you have those Arabics, the handset, like everything about it. It just every time I see one of these, I am absolutely like swept off my feet. They're also insanely rare, So Patek made the 5004 from '94 to 2012, and there are not, official numbers on how many were made, but it was a very small amount every year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just killer. The only thing so we also have a few other, you may have seen a 5004J that on our Instagram today, that is an absolute monster of a piece. The only thing that could be better is apparently, which I didn't even know, Patek made a run of 50 5004s in steel to commemorate the end of the production run in 2012. Could you imagine?
So there's 50 of them hanging around. I've heard of them before. I didn't know how many they made.
Nuts.
But that is crazy. Yeah, it's a legend. It's an absolute legend. And I think, like, to talk the market for a second, I think when you think about the lineage of Patek, and you think about, obviously the split is another beast, but the perpetual calendar chrono is Patek's signature move. It is, the thing that has defined them all the way from the 1518 all the way up through the current models. And I think, 1518 and 2499 are now
unobtainable.
We're
going to actually talk about...
They're not mortal watches.
No, we're going to talk about 2499 later.
It's a different league and class of watch now. And I think that is why we are seeing renewed interest in the 5004, because this is still somewhat approachable in terms of, like, if you're at that level of collector.
Sure.
This isn't $1 million yet.
Not yet. I think we're listed.
I think it's on the way.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
It's up there.
And to get an example like this in platinum is incredible, because I can count on one hand the number of platinum 5004s that have come through this store.
Exactly.
Even yellow gold, we haven't seen that many.
No.
So,
I mean, again, they made it for 18 years, but it's very, very, very small production across all metals per year. So very rare, very special, iconic Patek reference. I was so psyched to see that one come into the store.
It's a monster.
How are you gonna follow that up, Rob? What do you got next, buddy?
So technically, you did the order here.
I did,
and you probably did this on purpose, but that's fine.
I may have sandbagged him a little bit.
We're gonna lightning round through some of these, because I definitely want to hit this one. If we don't hit that, I'm okay.
Okay.
So I wanted to put a Panerai on the show because I dearly love Panerai, and I had not seen this one in the metal before. And to me, this is everything that's good about Panerai. This is the PAM 911, and this was the last, or the final for Panaristi, or the last for Panaristi, because Bonatti was very involved in the Panerai community out there when he was running the brand, and he often made special editions for the members of the Panaristi Forum. And so this was the final one that they did, and I think with Bonatti's departure now, they will not be doing anything
he didn't just
else
depart,
like that.
He passed away.
I was trying to be, tactful.
Okay.
So this one is basically your standard Luminor Marina with the small seconds. It's a sandwich dial. It's in this beautiful olive green, and it has these rose gold hands. They only made, I think it was 300 of these, so it's not a super common piece to find, but these big, bold base dials in the standard Luminor case like this. And this has the 8-day movement in it, which I think is really nice as well. So it's a watch that it's the first one we've seen. It very well could be the only one that we've seen. Last one for Panerai.
That's funny.
Is what he says. And it's just, I think it's super cool. Nice. I love it. I'd wear it. It looks nice.
Have you found a Panerai that you wouldn't wear?
Yeah. No.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Whoa. Breaking news. Breaking news. Robert has a Panerai he doesn't like.
That 50 millimeter
I don't care.
Mare Nostrum. That's a fridge too far. I can't do that one.
All right. One more.
It's not on the table though.
Yeah, no.
Where could this watch be?
It's over here. This is, we couldn't not show the box that this piece comes in.
We see a lot of watch boxes.
This one's pretty sweet.
This is probably the nicest box we've seen. And obviously, you all know what this is now.
Yeah. So, honestly, if you've been paying attention to the watch world, you kind of know that LVMH and Louis Vuitton has kind of been bringing the heat for the past couple of years. They've obviously, they own the Daniel Roth brand. They're They've done a lot with the Vuitton brand as well. This is the new tambour.
I've been like dying to see one of these in the metal, and I'm so happy we finally got one in, because a lot of the integrated bracelet pieces that come out feel very derivative of
100%.
one sort or another. And to me, this is one that actually feels like it stands on its own and has like its own kind of cool vibe, and it's not crazy expensive.
I was gonna say, this is like so very interesting, distinctive design. On the price part, I think retail is like 25, and I think we have it listed for like 15 or something, 17 maybe. Like,
this is not my segment, right? I am not the integrated bracelet sport watch guy.
Actually,
you are.
I am.
This is like, I own one watch on a bracelet, right? This is not my thing. I would buy this watch. I never in a million years would have said I would buy a watch from Louis Vuitton.
Well, so I was going to say the same thing. Like, I can't believe that we're both saying this and like enthusiastically saying it. And this is, last year they came out with, or at LVMH Watch Week in the fall last year, they came out with all these crazy variants of the tambour with the rotating hour indices and the world time and all this crazy stuff.
The one, I can't remember what it's called, but the one with the windows, that's basically like a tank à guichet.
That one as well. That one's
in the gold case.
They made a whole bunch of really like very, very high-end complicated ones, and then they made this one that is really just like the run-of-the-mill standard steel blue dial, like very straightforward, kind of base, lower end of the model line, but it's actually really, really good. And what is very funny—
the bracelet's really good.
What's very funny is in photos that we were just showing, you don't get the full like, you don't see how dynamic that dial is, but right now you can really see the different, just like, I think it's just even the different like striping essentially on the dial that really makes it feel so alive, and it's not this flat blue dial that it kind of looks like in photos. You get a great, automatic micro rotor movement with 50 hours of power reserve. Like it's great. It's great. It's so weird.
Bravo, LV.
I know. So like very cool. If you haven't checked out what Louis Vuitton and LVMH is doing, like take another look, because it's very, very interesting stuff. Cool. All right, we already went way over on that. We're gonna do, so before we get to the talking about the Phillips auction,
which you want to hang around for,
100%,
that's gonna be good.
Please. We wanted to, so a couple weeks ago we asked you guys for questions. We still have a bunch more to get through. I saw someone in the chat who asked us our longer question. Thank you. That was a ton of fun talking about. We do have a chat, Robert. You're not allowed to see it, but that's okay.
Chat because I have been denied access to the chat.
Yeah, Rob's got a history. Anyways, there were a couple kind of like lightning round questions that people asked us. They were really a this or that kind of question. So we're going to roll through those really quickly, and then we'll move on to the Phillips auction. So first up, someone asked us, Tudor Pelagos or Black Bay? Robert, what's your answer?
Pelagos 39.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think that.
Of course you didn't.
You suck.
No surprise.
All right, so I would say
great watch.
I would say Black Bay 54, but
also great watch.
That's a very tough question, to be totally honest. Like I love both.
Actually, I like Pelagos FXD.
I do too.
As well. The FXD is great, and they did
on that strap.
I really like the one they did, the cycling one, the chrono, with the black and the red and stuff. Like, it's super cool. The Red Bull one is super cool.
Pick one. Come on.
Hey, Pelagos, it wins. Done. He said Pelagos, Black Bay. I said Pelagos.
All right, Pelagos, Black Bay. There you go. Next up, someone asked us Patek 5004 or Patek 5204, which we happen to have.
Oh, look at that.
Right here. Robert, question came from David Tizon. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So I'm going to kind of
try
to do this without dropping anything.
So obviously 5204 is the next iteration essentially of the 5004. So another perpetual calendar, split chrono, upsized case. The 5204, you have a few different metals, a few different dial configurations.
And you have a fully in-house movement
yes.
with this now, whereas in this one was not.
Lamania based. So 5004, obviously.
Yeah,
there's no question.
Both of you and I are going to agree on that one. However, there are some cool things to the 5204 that I think are worth noting. Can I give that to you quickly?
Of course.
So on this one, things that I think that make it really cool. One, this rose gold gray dial is my favorite iteration of this piece. I think this is the best combo. It's really cool. I love the upside down moon phase. I think that is very cool, just because it's kind of wonky and different. And I do have to say, if you're going to be purely objective, this is a better movement.
Of course it is.
Right, like if you're going to purely on the specs and the numbers and the data, this is a better movement.
Yeah,
this Patek did upgrade the movement and make it better.
Yeah, but I don't care about specs. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. Like it just doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, if I was going to pick which one would you rather wear, it's the 5004 all day long.
All day, every day.
But I do think that this is like a rightful successor to that watch.
Yes.
And I think the fact that it has Dauphine hands is really cool. I like that they cleaned up the subdials by taking the leap year and the day-night out of it. And I like the upside down moon. I like the new caliber. And I love that they kept the split in the crown.
I mean,
instead of putting like the extra button over here.
But that's such a distinctive characteristic of this model family, essentially, that it would be like sacrilege if they changed that. So here, I can take that back if you want.
Put that on the other tray.
One more quick one, Rob, go ahead.
So this last one is kind of weird because it's the Rolex 126619LB, which is known as the Cookie Monster, white gold sub, black dial.
I want to go on the record. I hate dumb Rolex or any watch nicknames. Like Pepsi, that's fine. Even Batman is like one thing, but like Cookie Monster, come on, get out of here. I hate that so much.
So the Cookie Monster versus an AP 15400 steel blue dial, not even current production.
So it's interesting because it's like, I guess you get white metal blue dial, but they're like so dramatically different.
But
I guess it's similar price point. They're right around.
I think it's a price point argument.
Right around 40. Rolex a little under, AP maybe a little over, or right around there. So yeah, I think it's a price point argument. I, believe it or not, I'm going to go with a Rolex.
And I'm going to go AP.
What? What is happening right now?
So, to me, if I was going to buy a gold watch, I want a gold watch.
I usually agree with you.
If this was an AP versus the root beer GMT, all rose root beer GMT, I'm taking the GMT because I love that all rose gold, or the all yellow with the Jubilee.
Yeah.
The white gold sub to me is like, I don't know. At that point, I would just buy a steel watch. Not because I need it to be like a, hey, look at me, colored gold kind of thing, but like if I'm getting an all gold watch, I want it to look like a gold
And so
watch.
For me, I have such a major issue. The 15400 is, the dimensions are wrong for me. Like if I'm gonna get a Royal Oak, it has to be a 15202 or what I wear, like a 4100 or something like that. It has to be super thin. It has to be the ultra thin. The 15400 is too thick, and the case is not, what is it? It's 41.
It's a 41,
which
but
is
it's a big 41.
And it's also almost 10 mil thick, which like that, it just, all told, yeah, but Rob, I know.
This is so much thicker than 10 mil. This is so much thicker than 10 mil.
I know it is. I know it is.
You wax poetic about both of these, and they're massive.
You can't tell me
thickness.
Though. You agreed with me before you. Anyways, it's too big. The way that the shoulders of the case, the way the bracelet integrates into the main case, it doesn't work for me. So that's why I cannot choose that watch. Obviously, I prefer AP generally, a Royal Oak over a sub, but in that particular case. So thank you for the question.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
And that's the fun thing about this is like you can take something like that where it is two very disparate watches. We've got steel versus white gold. We've got Rolex versus AP. You've got new versus old, and yet you can still kind of figure it out there, and it's like interesting points of view. So even though it's like kind of a wacky question, I like it and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, now we want to go ahead and talk about some of our favorite, maybe some of them are somewhat overlooked lots in the upcoming Phillips Decade 1 auction that's happening in Geneva this weekend.
Yeah,
we're gonna make it into a little bit of a game. Robert and I are going to talk about these listings, these lots. We're also going to place bets on what we think the watch is actually going to sell for, hammer for, We're playing Price is Right rules, so closest without going over. Producer Ben is going to take notes. He's going to hold us accountable, and we're going to revisit this in a couple weeks, and we'll see who does better. So feel free to play along with us. And in the chat, actually, go ahead and let us know if you guys have numbers in mind that you think these things are going to go for. Throw it in the chat. We'll chop it up.
And you'll notice an absence of like the Steel 1518 and some things like that, because like both Justin and I were talking about it, and there's a lot of coverage of that watch and some of the other things that are on there. So when we were going through this catalog, we were kind of looking at it as, what are the things that maybe aren't getting as much attention as the big lots? And it was tough because everything feels like a big lot.
So even the stuff that is like we're saying kind of under the radar or maybe not getting the attention is still a monster watch. So like we said at the top of the hour, I don't think I've ever seen a catalog that is as stacked from top to bottom as this one is. Usually you have a couple of marquee lots at the beginning, a couple in the middle, and a couple at the end with some filler, in there. I really don't see any filler in this auction. I wish I could be in the room. It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be cool, man. It's going to be so cool.
But
it's in Geneva, and that's a long drive. So. Let's dig in.
I'm going to get the catalog out over here. We have, I got a bunch of tabs and whatnot. I'm just going to push this forward, Rob, so that we can have this between us. But, all right, first up, I think first on the list is lot number 97. This is the FP Journe Regency dial Tourbillon Souverain. These are such interesting and special watches. So we previously actually had, this was years ago now.
Yeah.
We had a platinum Regency dial with the gray dial. It was a brass movement. So this was
that was a 38.
That was a 38 brass movement.
First series. This is the second series.
Correct. So this series is 40 mil. They made 20. They did 10 rose gold with a white gold dial, and they did 10 rose gold with rose gold dial. This obviously is the rose version.
Which I think with FP Journe always makes an incredible watch.
Agreed.
He does so few of the double rose like that, but I love it.
Right. So, obviously the dial is hand engraved. It takes one artisan, one engraver, 2 full days to do that work, which honestly I think is pretty impressive to get that banged out in 2 days. It's a stunner.
It's an
absolute stunner.
The Phillips estimate in US dollars,
yes,
for the sake of our communication, since that's how you and I think,
yes,
is $400,000 to $751,000.
Like
$1,000.
What are we doing?
Well, it's because I think they do it in
it's
Swiss
the conversion.
francs.
It's the conversion. I know.
Convert.
But so I do want to say that auction estimates are usually hilariously wrong. Like they're not even.
They're conservative. I think auctions often want to put a lower estimate on things to get people interested in bidding and thinking.
Who is going into this thinking I'm going to get a deal on this Regency dial? Like it's so dumb. But anyways.
Deal, but just I don't know. It's something we see across the board from all of the auction houses.
True.
It's not unique to Phillips.
Very
they
true.
always
Very true.
have like conservative estimates. Even with the Paul Newman, they were like in excess of $1 million.
Yes.
That was all that they would say.
Yes.
What do you guys think in the chat? Why do they do that? Does anybody know?
$17 million later, you get the sale. But anyways, like Rob said, estimate $400 to $750K.
And I think since you picked this one,
I think I need to go first.
You got to shoot first.
You're right. I do. So I tried to think very critically about this. I know Rob gave me so much crap today for trying to do some research and to bring facts and information
that never heard back from him today. It's because he was scouring the internet for past results and comps and
not true. Whew. Not true, Robert. We don't need to pull up the tally of dollars sold today. Anyways, this is tough. This is really tough because this is the 40 mil. There's 20 of these as opposed to the previous gen, which was the 38 was totally different.
Different engravers.
Different engravers. The engraver for those ones, there was one guy and he passed away actually, so they had to change up that. So there was basically, I was trying to figge out what I thought this would be comparable to.
You're beating around the bush.
I am beating around the bush, Robert. All right. I think this is going to go for $1.4 million.
Whoa!
That's my number. 1.4.
I think you're over.
Well, we're playing Price is Right rules, so I would lose. What do you think?
I think it's $1 million watch.
Okay, so the reason that I came to that conclusion was there was I think it was this spring actually at Christie's, there was what's called the Heart of Ruby. So it was the exact same watch, platinum with a ruby dial, which we've seen. That went for $1.94 million.
Those, I think,
I
those
know
are rarer,
that it's a piece unique. That's incredibly rare. So I decided to go think that this is going to be a deal, and you're going to save $500,000, and it's going to go for 1.4. Okay. But what was your number? $1 million?
$1 million.
Okay.
I think it's $1 million watch. I think the hammer ends up right around that top of the estimate. Okay. And then the fees put it to $1 million.
I think the Journe market is red hot right now. I think there are going to be people in the room that want this watch. I think it's going to go higher. So Ben, 1.4, $1 million, put it on the board.
Big spread, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, what's next?
Now, we have the Patek Philippe reference 592, which is lot number 21, if you're playing the home game. So this, let me just pull this up in the catalog, 23, 21. So this is from 1941 in rose gold with a lovely pink dial with Breguet numerals. Yeah, I mean, this is history, right? Like, this is very, very cool. And I love that Patek has the kind of records where they can produce an archive for this that tell you that it's the original dial and, you know, that this is the way this watch was born. The reason I wanted to bring this up is I find this interesting for two things. One, it's like, you know, I've never seen another one of these
rose like this.
And they say it's the only known configuration. Yeah. So it's one of those like possibly unique things. Yeah. But I'm also super interested in the condition of this watch.
Yes.
Because like there's a chunk out of the lug up there.
Is, I know.
There's some incredible patina around the crown.
Which looks like,
and there's some like spots on the dial. There's discoloration of the numerals. And you might say, but Rob, why do you like all of these flaws? Because I think this is an honest watch.
Oh, I agree.
And I think the vintage market and vintage watch buyers need to look at something like this and say, this is a watch that has lived a life that's, 80 years old or whatever it is, and nobody's messed with this watch, right? Nobody's tried to fix this or like restored it or whatever. This is real.
I think if this was, you know, your run-of-the-mill Calatrava from this era, then yeah, that would be, the condition issues would be held against it. But the fact that this is so borderline unique, you know what I mean? The rose configuration, like, I don't think it really matters. Yeah, you know, it might hurt it a couple points or something, but find another one. Find another one, you know?
I think it's a bonus. If I was buying this watch, I'd want to buy it like this.
Yes, so I can wear it.
This feels like a real, honest watch that has some miles on it, has some character, has some uniqueness, it's like, that to me is what's cool about vintage watches. So, Phillips says 125,000 to 250,000.
Yes.
I think this is small. This is 33.5 millimeters in diameter, which at the time was the right size. But it is small. Yeah. So this is going to go to a collector who may or may not wear it. I think all in, this watch is 225.
Okay. We're pretty close here, Rob.
Oh, yeah?
I think you're a little... Me? No, I'm not going to $1 you. I am going to $1 you at some point, don't worry. But I agree. I think that it's going to go for 190.
Ooh.
I think that Phillips actually...
You took the under on this.
I did. I think Phillips nailed the estimate. I think that the condition is going to hurt it a little bit more than you think at auction. I think it might be overshadowed a little bit by some of the other Patek references that are in this catalog. But anyways, killer watch, I do think. So 190.
I think it's very cool.
I think it's amazing. I would love to see that in person.
I think the hammer's going to be more 190, 200, and then it's, you know,
see how he's already hedging? We're gonna so in 2 weeks.
I'm standing by 225.
In 2 weeks, we're gonna be sitting at this table arguing about whether it's the hammer price or the all-in price, and what the tariff is, and what the fee is. Don't worry, it's coming.
Where they're shipping.
It's coming. It's coming. All right. All right. Next up,
I would stoop to those levels.
Yeah, right. You've never done that before. All right. Next up, lot number 109. This is a Breguet reference 3237 chrono. We've had a number of 3237s over the years. These are incredibly, incredibly special, beautiful. Like that Patek, this has got some bonkers patina over on the right-hand
love
side of the case. So the special thing about this one, which I didn't even know existed until I saw this in the catalog, is that blue ring on the dial is lapis. So we've seen a couple different, we actually sold, earlier this year, we sold a white gold tuxedo dial.
Yeah, the black and white.
With the black and white dial. So instead of the blue, it just had like a black, I don't even know if it was enamel, but it had a black ring where you see this lapis. So this is your classic yellow gold. It has a Lemania-based chronograph movement in there.
Because when they were making this watch, that was the only company that made manually wound chronograph movements. You couldn't get a mechanical chronograph from anybody else. Everybody else hung it up because of quartz crisis. So this is the second generation of Breguet chronos, with the first being the 3230, which was the Daniel Roth design when he was bringing Breguet back to life. And so I agree with you. This is golden era of Breguet. This is as important a watch as a 5070 or anything like that. You can't really compare it to the vintage Pateks.
No.
But in terms of like modern manual wind chronographs, I think this is just as good. Phillips.
25 to 50K, so I struggled with this one because we see 3237s going in the 30s, right around 30 to 40 range usually, somewhere in there, depending on how complete they are, their condition, etc. The white gold tuxedo dial that we sold earlier this year was dramatically more than that. It was more than 2x that price point.
And it sold
immediately to a very, very, very savvy collector who was thrilled to get it. So I went back and forth on this one. So again, estimate is 25 to 50. I think this is going to come in over estimate. I think this is going to come in at 70K. Really? I do.
That's a $100K watch, man.
You think that's a $100K watch?
That is $100,000.
Interesting.
Without doubt.
You don't think that the condition of the so I love the patina. I actually prefer to have that patina there. Yep. It's binged and bonged on the bezel.
It's got a lot of marks on it.
There's a lot of life there.
Somebody wore this watch. Somebody enjoyed this watch. I don't see anything traumatic though. I don't see anything. There's no like stains on the dial. There's no there's nothing that's not fixable. No. Like if you bought this watch and you wanted to polish it,
I wouldn't touch it.
You could.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't, but you could. You could restore this watch. I would advise
I think that
you could restore it.
I think that this isn't going to be an overlooked reference, though. I mean, I'm actually wondering what is before and there's a couple nice Breguets.
There's so many nice Breguets in this.
Yeah.
Like honestly, and I think that's where there's going to be some really good value buys because there are some beautiful Breguet perpetuals. There's a stunning Breguet perpetual repeater in there.
Yeah.
There are some lovely Breguets that are going to go way under market. This isn't one of them. It's $100,000.
Okay. Well, Rob's over, so I'm going to win anyways. But $70,000, $100,000. Again, like we've been saying it pretty much all year now, Breguet. I hate the term, but neo-vintage Breguet, 90s, early 2000s Breguet is where it's at. You guys are totally missing the boat. Pay attention, buy them while you can. They're going to get really expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the one.
There's actually two Gilbert Alberts in here.
This is the one, though. My God.
But this is remarkable. This is an asymmetric in platinum with diamonds. Okay, so when I was doing my research that Robert loves to give me so much crap about, I found that there were 10 made in platinum, 4 with baguette diamonds like this, I believe. 4. This one was manufactured in 1961, and then it was not sold until 1984. Which is incredible.
I have no idea how that happened, whether it went to a dealer and it sat in their case for 23 years, or it sat at the Patek factory for, I don't know. I don't know how the hell that happens, but, actually legitimately documented, manufactured in 61, sold in 84.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, it's not the first time we've ever seen something like that, because we've even seen Rolex stuff come through the store where the case number is a good 8 to 10 years before the date on the papers. Totally. I think we had a Milgauss like that once.
We definitely did. We had 1019 like that, yeah.
That's what it was, yeah. I mean, I waxed poetic about Gilbert Albert last week. I think it was last week. Or
recently, whatever.
Yeah, it was recently. We talked about Gilbert Albert, and having gotten the privilege to hold one in my hands, which not a lot of people do, it is just as special as you think it is in real life. It is, if you're a guy like me who looks at case design and looks at, you know, to me, getting something from the past that was looking towards the future like that is just so incredible.
Well, like we talked about when we talked about Gilbert Albert and his designs, it's got that retro futurism. It's like the unbridled optimism of the 1950s and early 1960s, just like all over it. It's so unique and interesting.
This
Look at my numbers here.
is the most pathetic estimate I have seen in the entire catalog.
I agree.
This estimate is $125 to $250.
Yes.
The standard ones are 200 grams.
I know.
Like a white gold, and I say standard, but truth be told, they're still super rare and impossible to find. So even at that point, but that's 200 grand.
Yeah.
How is this 125 to 250? That's a joke.
What do you think?
That is a joke.
What do you think?
This is $500,000.
Whoa.
This is $500,000.
Whoa, Robert. Okay. So I do think this is going to set a record for a Gilbert Albert. The record for a Gilbert Albert currently is $238,000 from a Christie's auction in 2023. So I think that it's definitely going to set, obviously, like this is taking that and just like punching it up to 11 essentially with those baguette diamonds, like bonkers. I think it's going to go for $325. I think I would love to see it go for $500 because I think that this is worth that kind of money. It's so special.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What do you got?
I may even be under at 500.
You think so?
I may even be under at 500, to be honest with you.
Really? You think so?
I'm surprised you went below me.
Really?
I really, really am.
So,
because Loop This just sold that triangular one, which is also very cool. The one that kind of looks like a Hamilton Ventura. And that was $700,000.
Wait, it was?
For that one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, did you miss that in your research? Did you neglect that?
Sorry, Rob. I didn't have. I guess I ran out of time. I didn't do all the research on your watches here, pal. Sorry, my bad. All right. Well,
I think
interesting. I hope.
Because when you were like the record's 200, I was like, no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
yes, for a 34.
Okay. You start talking about your Sea Dweller.
For a 34-24, 238 is the record. That triangular one was not. Was it a different reference?
It is, but it's a lesser reference.
I agree.
This is better.
I don't understand what the hell happened on that auction, but okay. Well, let's see. Maybe it'll be a $750,000, $900,000 watch. I hope it is. I hope it is.
My Loop This password saved in my phone though, so I can't look at the results.
All right. Next up,
talk about your Sea Dweller.
Yeah, we got a couple more. So lot 184,
and we have 5 minutes.
I know. So the Rolex Sea Dweller Polipetto. So this is a reference 16600 Sea Dweller. This is a special edition that was commissioned by the Italian State Police. It celebrated the 50th anniversary of its diving corps. 78 total pieces made. And what makes this so special is, first and foremost, Rolex doesn't do limited editions. No. Very, very few commemorative editions from the factory. This is the only one that I know of that has both an engraving on the case back, but it also has a logo or something on the dial from the factory. So this has the logo, the octopus, the Polipetto is Italian for little octopus. So it has the diving corps logo on there. It has the years and whatnot engraved on the case back. This one is also new old stock, or not new old stock, but it's stickered. It's a complete set. Super, super cool. Yeah. What did I say? They made 78 total pieces. The auction estimate is $100,000 to $200,000. What else did I have here that I wanted to talk about? A new old stock one, Rob, sold earlier this year for 338,000 euros.
No way.
Yes, and I don't know
for a Polipetto.
For a Polipetto. So there are a few. There's like one or two levels.
Well, that makes me change my
I should have told you. Damn
thought
it.
here.
There are a few different levels of the Polipetto. So like this is there's 78 of them, but there were ones like this that were just the standard engraving on the case back, and then there was another one that had I think they made 3. For like the head of the core or whatever that had like their badge number engraved on the case back as well. Cool. I'm not sure if that one that went for 338 was one of those, but this is a very cool watch.
This is.
It's so cool. I love it so
much.
much.
And this is one of those lots where this kind of might slip through the cracks.
Think so?
This could be one where like a lot of guys have already bought stuff. It's late in the catalog too. It's number 184.
Yeah.
You know, so it could be like a lot of guys already spent their money, and then this could end up being one that doesn't quite go as high. But I don't know. What do you think?
It's got everything: hang tag, like the tool, everything that it came with from new. I think the estimate is $100,000 to $200,000. I think this goes for $350K. Wow. Yeah, US. The other one was 338 euros. I think this is 350 US.
I think this is a high estimate watch.
Do you?
I'm gonna go. You said three.
I said 350. Why not?
350? No.
We're living, Rob. Come on, spend some money.
I think this is 200.
Really?
I think this is right at the high estimate. I think this is a 200K watch.
Justify yourself, Rob. Why?
I don't know the details of the other one because I didn't spend the day poring over old listings. But I think that was an outlier. I think there was probably some reason that somebody
338 is almost 400,000 US dollars. So
yeah, that's insane. I don't see this going that high. I think it's super cool, but I don't see somebody paying that much for it.
I agree that I don't. As cool as I think this is, and as special as it is, and I mean, I'm not a huge Rolex collector or whatever, but I don't think it's necessarily worth that kind of money. I hope there are a bunch of drunk Italians in that room in Geneva, and they bid this thing up so that I'm right and Rob's wrong. Wait, what was your number again? 200?
200.
Okay, Ben, you got that?
200. That would be the way to do it. Like if there's a bunch of them who are like
it's the end of the auction. Come on, exactly,
ready to go. Yeah. So I think we got a blast.
Yeah, let's do it.
$24.99 or Daytona?
Up to you. Doesn't matter. I don't care.
I want to do the Daytona. Can we do that, Kevin? Can we skip to the Daytona?
All right. We were going to talk about, Rob overruled my $24.99 first series that I did copious amounts of research on, but it's fine. It's fine, Rob, it's fine.
It's going to be very expensive.
I'm kidding.
It's going to be tremendously expensive. It's going to be $2 million. It's going to be worth every penny, and it's going to be amazing.
I think it's going to be, I think it's more than that, but that's okay. Keep going.
Really?
Yeah.
Put him down. I say, I don't know. What was the estimate?
All right, hold on. Estimate is, one second. Oh, crap, where is it? Estimate 940 to 188, which is hilarious, but go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, I'll say 2.5. I'm going to go 2.5.
All right, I think 2.8, Ben. So.
Ooh, we're close on that one. Cool.
Okay. All right. Talk about your Daytona.
This thing, I turned to this page in the auction book and I was like, pah. I mean, one, patina on the case. Hello.
Yeah.
Two, this 6269 reference for the bejeweled manual wine Daytona. Like these never come up. They
almost don't exist.
Rare. And then the fact that this is one of the Sultanate of Oman gift watches where it has the can jar on the back.
Well, this one was just and this is documented as going to the court of the Sultan of Oman. Like it's very well established that this is.
But I mean, like, just even if it didn't have the can jar on the back, like the condition of this thing alone is absolutely stunning. And like, who? Other than the Sultanate of Oman, who was buying these watches back then?
Well, so the thing is that
this is 1986, which was the era of like excess.
Yeah, but Rolex wasn't doing gem set.
Right. This is
sport watches
before
like that.
the Leopard. This is before the Sabre. This is before all of these crazy Rolex. This is like Genesis for like crazy Daytona.
This isn't just like a gem set or diamond set bezel. Like this is full pave with sapphire hour indices. Like it's bananas, and it's also on a gold rivet bracelet. Like oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's killer. What is the estimate on this guy? Is $628 to $1.26 million. Rob, what is your number on this? Because this is going to get spicy.
This is going to get very spicy. And I think this is one of the hardest ones
I agree.
To kind of predict because if you get the right people in the room, there's no limit on what they're going to pay for this. But again, if people are tapped out or like the wrong person is sleeping because they're in Asia or whatever,
this is something that people keep their powder dry for. This is something that no one's just gonna just throw in $1 million bid for for funsies on this one.
I think there's gonna be some Daytona collector who wants this as like the centerpiece of like a massive vintage Daytona collection, and I think
that number will be.
I think this is 1.5 by the time the hammer drops.
Okay.
All in.
My number was 135. So that's close. We're close on that one. Ben, you got that? 13515. That is such a cool watch.
That's very cool.
I'm so excited to see what it does.
And it's
Honestly,
one
like
of those watches where that would only come up at auction. You're never going to see that at a dealer. And that's what's cool about stuff like this, is a lot of what we're looking at here is things that people would only bring to auction because that's where they're going to perform. That's where they're going to do well. So,
yeah, I mean, that's where you get the coverage and the exposure and everything. So if you haven't looked through the Phillips Decade 1, please do, take 2 minutes from perusing the EWC website and quickly go over to the Phillips website and check it out.
This is Saturday and Sunday in Geneva. It's going to be a wild ride. I can't wait to see the estimates. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
Yes.
When we come back to be with you all again. And with that, I think it's time to say goodnight.
We got to go. That was the easiest 62 minutes we've ever done. Thank you guys for joining us. That was a blast. We will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great weekend. And
we'll discover how wrong he is. It'll be great.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.